Hello everyone, this is Chiranjit Seal and you are watching Digiclass. Today we are going to discuss about an important topic, that is consumer's equilibrium. We have already discussed it with the help of cardinal utility approach. Today we are going to discuss it with the help of ordinal utility approach. It means that we are going to discuss about the important topic, that is consumer's equilibrium, with the help of budget line and indifference curve. So we have already discussed about what do we mean by budget line and indifference curve. So if you have not watched that video, so first clear that those concepts, that is budget line and indifference curve. So consumer's equilibrium. First we have to know what do you mean by consumer. Consumer means a person who is consuming goods and services, and equilibrium means a state of balance. That means at that point no one wants to move from that particular position or situation. So consumer's equilibrium means that the consumer is in a position from where he does not want to move from that particular point. It means that at that point he is getting highest level of satisfaction. It means that he is maximizing his satisfaction with his given income. So to achieve or to attain the equilibrium position, two conditions should be fulfilled. Here the two conditions is written. So number one is the budget line of the consumer must be tangent to the highest possible indifference curve, and the second one is the indifference curve which becomes tangent to the budget line must be convex to the origin. Now we are going to discuss about the first condition. So the first condition is that the budget line of the consumer must be tangent to the highest attainable indifference curve. So in the figure 1, that is here, it is figure 1. In figure 1, AB is the budget line. Suppose AB is the budget line and IC is the indifference curve, and it is easily seen that the indifference curve is tangent to the AB budget line at point E, and the consumer is in a equilibrium position. And it is noted that at the point of equilibrium, this condition, that is marginal rate of substitution, is equals to Px by Py should be equal. That means the slope of the indifference curve should become equal to the slope of the budget line. So now if we draw another indifference curve, suppose that is IC1, here IC1, in this curve we get two another points. Suppose this is F and it is G. So the consumer can attain equilibrium at this point also, F and G, but he is consuming, if the consumer consumes at point F or G, the consumer is getting less satisfaction, because we know that higher indifference curve shows higher level of satisfaction. Here the IC curve is higher to the IC1 curve, so the consumer will consume at point E, not at point F or G. Now if suppose that there is another indifference curve which is higher than the equilibrium position, that means the indifference curve, suppose it is IC2, so the IC curve is lower than IC2. It means that the IC2 curve is higher from the initial equilibrium or initial indifference curve, that is IC. Suppose if the consumer wants to attain equilibrium at point A, he cannot achieve or he cannot attain at this point, because his budget line or his income level does not permit that. So the consumer is in equilibrium at that point where the indifference curve is tangent to the budget line, and at the equilibrium point the slope of the indifference curve should become equal to the slope of the budget line. It means that the MRS XY, that means the slope of the indifference curve should become equal to this, and it means the slope of the budget line. So this is the first condition. Now we are going to discuss about the second condition. So the second condition is that the indifference curve which becomes tangent to the budget line must be convex to the origin. That means the indifference curve should become convex to the origin. So in figure 2 it is explained. In figure 2, here it is an indifference curve. Suppose it is IC1. The IC1 curve intersect the budget line AB at point F. the consumer may attain equilibrium at point F, but he cannot achieve equilibrium at point F because at that point the indifference curve is concave to the origin. Now the indifference curve is concave to the, what do you mean by the convexity and concave to the origin? It means that the marginal rate of substitution is increasing at that point. That means the consumer is going to sacrifice larger amount of one commodity, suppose good Y, to attain lesser amount of good X. So it cannot be happen. So at the point of equilibrium, the indifference curve should become convex to the origin to attain the equilibrium level. So to attain the equilibrium position, the consumer should become equilibrium only when these two conditions fulfilled. So this is the basic concept of consumer's equilibrium. Hopefully you will understand this concept. So thank you for watching. Stay blessed.